my YouTube channel called PuppyBoom1314, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, I suffer from a speech impediment and I had it since I was born, and I use a text-to-speech app on my laptop to help me to talk, what I use to make all videos on my channel. This video is different from what I normally do, as I've been dealing with abnormal health issues, and I am doing this video on what has been happening to me since May this year 2025. Since mid-May, I've been grappling with swelling and inflammation on the left side of my large bowel, which is part of my ongoing battle as may have inflammatory bowel disease. The last time I found myself in the hospital was on the afternoon of July 6, 2025. I was brought in by ambulance because the bleeding was so serious that I could barely stand on my own. It was a pretty intense situation, to say the least, as I had to go phone for an ambulance as I couldn't walk or get a taxi down to the hospital due to way the bleeding was and how serious it was at the time, and left my bathroom in a real nightmare way, with the floor was covered in blood and the smell of it was so intense that it made the ambulance service staff almost made them to be sick. I was put onto antibiotics. They were called amoxicillin 1G 20 milliliters via IV injection 3 times a day, and I was also on gentamicin 400 milligrams 200 milliliters of sterile normal saline solution done by IV infusion, administered over an hour, twice a day, with a 12-hour break in between. It is a pretty powerful antibiotic that they give me. It normally use and treat certain serious infections that are caused by bacteria in the large bowel. The A&E doctor spent a good amount of time jotting down all my symptoms, noting when they started, how long they had been going on, and ordering more blood tests to explore different causes. They performed bowel and rectal examinations, listened to my chest and stomach, and took swabs from my mouth, anus, and just inside of my rectum and penis, even collecting stool and urine samples. They compiled a comprehensive background report and a list of various tests to rule everything out. They were keeping an eye out for any infections that could be behind the severe to serious rectal bleeding, which was causing swelling and inflammation, as especially since my last CT scan in June showed significant swelling and inflammation in my left large bowel from my rectum to the first 8 inches of my large bowel. The doctor took a full inventory of my medications and spent nearly an hour with me, clearly concerned about why this had been dragging on for so long. They were even prepared to do an emergency blood transfusion if necessary, gave me an IV injection of tranexamic acid into my IV line to stop the bleeding I had in my left arm, and hooked me up to a fluid drip to prevent further dehydration from the blood loss I had experienced. And before I was discharged, the general surgeon I was under, they performed a gastroscopy where they push a camera down my throat and into my stomach and into first part of my small bowel, and a colonoscopy where they push a camera up my anus into my rectum to the end of my large bowel and into first part of the small bowel, and they taken multiple biopsies from both my gastroscopy test and my colonoscopy test. This was the first time they really took my situation seriously, and thinking of referred me to a few different specialists, including hematologists, gastroenterologists, colorectal surgeons, and specialist nurses who focus on various areas. They want to rule everything out because during the gastroscopy, they accidentally found a large stomach ulcer, even though I don't have any symptoms of it, as show up clear as day. Since mid-May I started have episode of serve diarrhea, lasting for up to a week at a time, and, when the bleeding started soon after that, I have been put on a specialist diet, low fat and few other foods. I can't eat anything more like red meat. I no longer can have a lot of as it can increase the chance of set off and massive bleed again. I was told to eat more healthy and to eat at least 3 times a week of chicken and increase the amount of vegetables and fruits throughout the week now on 2. I will do another video on my YouTube channel when I find out exactly what the medical condition I do have is, what is really going on with myself. It would be after 8 weeks time when I get all the test results back. I will make the video to give everyone an update on my current health issues and what the test and the biopsies results has come back as. Thank you for watching my YouTube video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. See you soon.